To seekers of the truth, the mystery of reincarnation, hybrid spirits, and unclean entities since ancient Kemet. From the depths of history, the fallen ones have sought to corrupt mankind through deception, manipulation, and spiritual contamination. One of the greatest deceptions that persists from ancient Kemet, Egypt, to modern times is the distortion of reincarnation, the creation of hybrid spirits, and the presence of unclean entities that have plagued humanity for generations. Seekers of the truth must be vigilant in discerning the difference between the ways of Yahuah and the perversion of divine order by the fallen children and deities of old. The ancient roots of reincarnation and hybrid spirits. In ancient Kemet, the concept of the soul's journey beyond death was a central tenet of belief. The Egyptians, influenced by the fallen watchers and their offspring, spoke of reincarnation as a cycle of rebirth, leading many to believe that they could return to this world again and again. However, Yahuah, the creator of all things, never ordained such a cycle for mankind's souls. Instead, the scriptures declare, "And as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment." Hebrews 9:27. This truth dismantles the false doctrine of reincarnation, revealing that the idea of souls returning to inhabit new bodies is a deception meant to mislead mankind away from the true resurrection through Yahushua HaMashiach. However, reincarnation in another sense can be what unclean spirits, known as demonic entities, experience when they dwell in a human vessel again and again. These spirits, remnants of the Nephilim, cannot return to Yahuah, so they seek habitation in living bodies, influencing their hosts through possession and oppression. Hybrid spirits, on the other hand, are not of Yahuah, but are a result of the rebellion of fallen angels who took mankind wives, producing the Nephilim giant, unnatural beings, Genesis 6:1-4. These beings were neither fully human nor divine, and when their physical bodies perished, their spirits became the unclean entities that roam the earth today, seeking to inhabit and corrupt mankind. Unclean spirits and their influence. Unclean spirits, known as demonic entities, have existed since the days of Noah. These spirits, remnants of the Nephilim, cannot return to Yahuah because they were never part of his divine order. They seek to dwell in human vessels, manipulating thoughts, emotions, and actions. Yahushua himself cast out such spirits, revealing their presence and power. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. Matthew 12:43. The ancient Kemetic priesthood, under the guidance of fallen deities, understood this spiritual manipulation. They performed rituals to invoke spirits into idols, bodies, and even the pharaohs themselves, claiming divine possession. This practice of spirit invocation continues today in various forms, from occult rituals to modern-day necromancy, channeling, and ancestral worship. The connection to fallen deities. Many of the so-called deities of ancient Kemet, Osiris, Isis, Thoth, and others were not divine but fallen entities masquerading as gods. These beings thrived on the worship and blood sacrifices offered to them, strengthening their hold over the people. Their influence extended beyond Kemet into Babylon, Greece, Rome, and even modern religions that subtly incorporate their teachings. Through deception, these fallen ones promise power, wisdom, and immortality, mirroring the same lie that the serpent told Eve in the garden, "They shall be as gods." Genesis 3-5. Yet their path only leads to spiritual bondage and destruction. Fallen deities, often worshipped as gods in ancient cultures, are not born in the way mankind are, but originate from the rebellion of fallen angels and their influence over mankind. There are two primary ways these entities come into existence. Fallen angels themselves as gods. Many of the fallen angels who rebelled against Yahuah as described in Genesis 6 and the Book of Enoch, set themselves up as deities, demanding worship and sacrifices from mankind. These powerful beings deceived entire civilizations, presenting themselves as gods like Osiris, Baal, Marduk, Zeus, and others. Through sorcery, secret knowledge, and blood rituals, they manipulated mankind into serving them. The Nephilim and their spirits after death. When the fallen angels took human women as wives, they produced hybrid offspring called the Nephilim, Genesis 6:1-4. These beings were unnatural giant, powerful, and filled with corruption. Because they were not fully man or fully angelic, their spirits were left without a place in Yahuah's divine order after their bodies were destroyed in the flood. The Book of Enoch explains that these spirits became the unclean demons that roam the earth today, Enoch 15:8-12. These spirits of the Nephilim, along with fallen angels, continued to influence people after the flood. Pagan nations worshipped them as deities, and they communicated through idols, divination, and rituals. This is why many ancient gods are depicted as part human, part animal, or giants, because they were based on these corrupted hybrid beings. The spiritual battle continues. These fallen deities are still worshipped today, though their names and images have changed. They continue their deception through false religions, occult practices, and secret societies. However, Yahushua Mashiach has given us authority over them, and those who follow Yahuah are called to expose their lies and walk in his truth. The figures of Osiris, Baal, Zeus, and Isis, along with their supposed parents Nut and Geb, come from mythological traditions where deities are given mankind-like relationships to create a structured pantheon. However, these family trees are symbolic rather than literal. The Egyptian perspective, Nut and Geb. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Nut, the sky goddess, and Geb, the earth god, were said to be the parents of Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys. This creation story was a way for the Egyptians to explain natural forces and divine rulership. However, these gods were not born in a physical sense, but were representations of fallen entities taking on different roles throughout various cultures. Fallen angels masquerading as gods. The concept of gods having parents stems from how fallen angels and their offspring established control over humanity. The fallen angels who descended in Genesis 6 influenced human civilization, and as generations passed, their identities merged into myths. These beings set up entire pantheons, giving themselves origin stories to create legitimacy in the eyes of their worshippers. Baal and Zeus, rebranded fallen spirits. Baal, worshipped by the Canaanites, was a storm and fertility god, often linked to child sacrifice. His character aligns with fallen spirits that demanded blood rituals. Zeus, the chief god of the Greek pantheon, mirrors earlier deities like Baal, Marduk, and Enlil. His myths include themes of rebellion, war, and domination traits, often linked to the fallen angels. Though mythology presents Nut and Geb as parents of these deities, this is a human attempt to structure the history of spiritual rebellion. The fallen angels and their hybrid offspring used mythology to mask their true identities and maintain control over civilizations. There have been numerous sky gods across different cultures, but many of them stem from the same fallen entities being worshipped under different names. These deities were often associated with the heavens, storms, the sun, or celestial rule, reinforcing their supposed divine authority. Here are some of the most well-known sky gods and their connections. Egyptian sky gods. Nut, the sky goddess, believed to give birth to the sun each morning and swallow it at night. Horus, the falcon-headed god of the sky, often linked to kingship and war. Ra-Re, the sun god, often merged with other deities like Amun to become Omun-Ra. Mesopotamian sky gods. Anu An, the supreme sky god of Sumer, associated with divine authority. Enlil, a storm and air god who played a major role in ruling the heavens. Marduk, the chief god of Babylon, linked to creation myths and sky dominion. Canaanite and Phoenician sky gods. Baal, Hadad, a storm and fertility god, later demonized in scripture for his association with idolatry and child sacrifice. El, the high god of the Canaanite pantheon, later absorbed into other traditions. Greek and Roman sky gods. Zeus, Jupiter, the ruler of the gods, associated with thunder, lightning, and the sky. Uranus, the primordial sky deity, father of the Titans. Norse and other European sky gods. Odin, Woden. Though primarily a god of wisdom and war, Odin had strong celestial connections. Tyrannes, a thunder god worshipped by the Celts. Hindu and Vedic sky gods. Diospiter, the Vedic sky father, similar to Zeus. Indra, a warrior sky god and king of the Devas, associated with storms and lightning. Indigenous and other mythological sky gods. Tengri, Turkic and Mongolian, a celestial god of the sky and fate. Itzamna Mayan, a sky god and creator deity. Connection to the fallen. These sky gods, despite their different names, often share the same characteristics. Lightning, storms, and war, like Zeus, Baal, and Indra. Authority over creation and kingship, like Ra, Anu, and Odin. False promises of immortality and wisdom, like Marduk and Enlil. This pattern suggests that they are not separate gods, but the same fallen spirits influencing different nations, under new identities. The true creator, Yahuah, has no equal, and these beings were created to serve but rebelled, setting themselves up as false gods over mankind. Breaking free through Yahushua Mashiach. True deliverance from these ancient deceptions comes only through Yahushua HaMashiach, who has overcome the powers of darkness. Through his sacrifice, we are given the authority to cast out unclean spirits, break generational curses, and walk in the true light of Yahuah. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Luke 10:19. To seekers of the truth, the call is clear. Reject the lies of reincarnation, expose the influence of hybrid spirits, and flee from the worship of fallen deities. Walk in the righteousness of Yahuah, for only in him is true life found. May Yahuah open your eyes to the truth and lead you into his eternal kingdom. Shalom. Remember to seek the Most High for provisions and guided answers only, not man. Check out my link tree for spiritual and spiritual realm books on Amazon. Click the like button and please subscribe so I can continue bringing Yah's content to this channel in a descriptive way. Thanks for watching.